We might be making it a little too hot at the top of it here.
Yeah, switch your weight, Daddy.
Big old campground over there.
We're about to cross the lake right now on what we call the Little Taneycomo Bridge. It's one of the first all-steel bridges in the Ozarks. It's 35 feet above the cold waters as we cross the beautiful White River Valley and begin our journey today.
Oh, he's already been here?
Yes.
I thought I was supposed to go to the other end.
That's some ducks, Daddy.
But you got cold.
I was a kid.
Yeah, there you go. Didn't bother you then.
Thank you.
Look, what do you see out there? Trees. That's all I see, trees. Up there, trees.
We thought it was one of the...
I saw one.
I tell you what, if it stays just like this, the sun ain't quite as bad as it could be.
We're passing through the one and only town on our trip south. This is Hollister, once known as the English village of the Ozarks because of its old English architecture, which you'll see up ahead on the east along historic Downing Street. On the west will be the old Missouri Pacific train depot built here in 1910.
I know that change. But they are.
It's down the street.
Who's that thing?
The little creek on the east there is Turkey Creek, and it's named for those wild turkeys that roam these hills. Other wildlife in the area includes such things as deer, coyote, fox, or even a bobcat. Occasionally we have had black bears that would wander up from Arkansas. In the hills ahead you might see red-tailed hawks soaring above the train, or more commonly, a turkey buzzard or two. Yes, these turkey vultures, or buzzards as we call them, are common birds here in the Ozarks. They're a large black bird with a wingspan of nearly 6 feet. Now perhaps an old buzzard isn't pretty to look at up close, but I think you're all going to agree that they're beautiful as they soar above the hills and the valleys up ahead.
should have been on this side instead of that side. I think you should have been on this side instead of there.
I can always switch over to this sink over here.
Okay.
If I get over there,
Heaven forbid you say
we doing all this, you're just gonna get mad at me for constantly poking you.
that didn't sound right.
Or with my elbow, you know what I'm talking
I
about.
know, I was hearing something like
there's two babies.
Oh, look at that.
Good eyes,
You missed it.
If you look up front, you can see the engine going around the curve.
Oh, look.
She kind of did.
Oh, there's an engine on. I didn't realize that, but there's a. I guess there's an engine on both ends. So we're not really backing up. He's actually probably more or less what you call pushing.
As we cross Turkey Creek Bridge, we begin
Somebody had
climbing
their
a long
recliner
hill
out
called
there.
Clark Street. It will run for about 8 miles, and on these tracks there used to be several long, high wooden trestles. Some of those trestles were over 100 feet high, but they created many headaches and expenses for the men who had to maintain the right-of-way. So in 1907, the Missouri Pacific began the long process of filling in these wooden trestles, creating the man-made earthen embankments that we ride upon today. It took many years to do this. After all, there were 284 trestles over the 239 miles of track. As a matter of fact, it wasn't until 1980 that the last one was buried.
Get up and go bathroom. Did you hear the lady she was talking about storage for her man on the recliner?
Yeah.
You see that?
Just don't walk stiff legged.
Oh, I'm staying here. They're gonna.
Oh, now when you walk, you kind of want to bend your knees.
You stay with mommy?
Stay with me.
Can you stay with mommy? Then I'll take you in a minute, okay?
Let's just see whether you want to take the camera or you good. Okay, scoot over.
See what you see.
Watch it. You just got rubberneck it.
Can you wave for me?
Say hi.
Hey. Give me a big old smile. That's great. Thank you, dude.
Up ahead, we will be passing through an area where an old railroad town once stood. The name of the town was Melva. In the early 1900s, it was a prospering little mining and farming community. They had lead and zinc mines in the area, and several railroad workers lived here with their families. But it was destroyed by a tornado in 1920, and the devastation was so great that the town was never rebuilt. And Melva is really nothing now but a few vacant lots. But if you watch very closely on the east, in a few minutes, you'll see what remains of the Melva Hotel. But you have to keep a sharp eye because it does pass by very quickly.
Are y'all from this area, or?
No. Up by Council.
We're talking about, huh?
Up by Council Bluffs, Iowa.
Well, that's where I was born. Started school there, 1963. Went to Bloomer Elementary. I think it's still there, from what I've always heard.
No, we're south of there, about 15 miles. Glenwood, little town called Glenwood.
Right. My stepbrother lived there for a while when he went up there. Well, actually, At the time when we were growing up, we lived in South Alabama, but our grandparents always lived up in Omaha. And anyhow, my step brother, when he finished high school, ended up moving up there with my grandparents and working with them. And he got married, and him and his wife lived over there on a farm somewhere. But she's talking about towns that don't exist. Over toward, if you go south toward Eureka Springs and all that, there's a big old lake called Beaver Lake. And you remember the old movie, Old Art Thou Brother, Big whatever, kind of. And in that movie, they evacuated this town and flooded it. But under Beaver Lake, there's an entire other town under the bottom, underneath the lake, that they had to relocate everybody when. So I don't think they actually used the, but they I think that's kind of where they got that part of the story from. But
Show you where we are.